Anyone have a bid, solicitation, proposal to work on today or a question? You guys hear me okay?
Yep, I hear you, John. G.S.A.
So I.
Me too.
Anybody have a question or a bid, solicitation, proposal, anything to work on?
John,
Go ahead.
I've been working with the 1449, if it's supported. Blocks are we responsible for filling in?
Ask. Give me a second. Guys, anyone who's not speaking, if you guys could hit mute, we get a lot of background noise. Awesome. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, on the 1449 home, what blocks are we responsible for filling in?
The standard form 1449.
Yes. I know we're supposed to fill in 17A, where it says contractor / offerer.
1449, if I remember off the top of my head, is blocks 13, 17, 23, 24, and 30. I'll pull one up real quick.
Okay.
Block number 13 should be the discount box, discount terms. It's 13 or 14, something like that.
Okay.
Wait for it to download and open.
Okay.
Okay, block 12, that's right. Block 12 is your discount terms. So discount terms would be net 5 minus 1%, which means if they pay you within 5 days of you invoicing them, you will give them 1% off that invoice. Some people do.
Okay. Okay.
Net 10 minus 2%.
Now in the, okay.
Net 5 minus 1. No, I got that backwards.
Okay. Okay.
So net 10 minus 1%, net 5 minus 2, meaning if they pay you within 10 days, you'll give them a 1% discount. If they pay you within 5 days, you'll give them a 2% discount. It's just a token. I always give them a discount. I always give them net 5 minus 1% just because I've seen it. People, they awarded a contract because of the discount, which kind of doesn't really make sense because I had my client add the 1% back onto the actual price, so we weren't losing anything.
Okay.
You don't want to give them a discount past 15 days because they have to pay you within 15 to 30. So there's no sense giving them a discount to pay you on 30 days when they have to pay you in 30 days anyway.
Okay.
Right. Block number 17 is who you are.
Yeah.
You are the contractor offerer. So regardless if you do contracts or you're a general contract, doesn't matter. The government's either going to call you contractor or offerer. So you're both of those. This code is for your cage code. So your cage code goes in there, which was 47 VJ
47 VJ 7.
47 VJ 7.
Correct.
I remembered it, and it's not even my cage code.
You got it. You got it.
So your cage code would go in there. Facility code is blank. That's for purchasing agent. That's for government agencies and government-funded organizations like colleges. They have a facility code. You don't.
Okay.
Then you put in your company name, address, line 1, and address, line 2, and then telephone number. And that's it. Some of these will have a box right here that says DUNS number or extended DUNS number. That's where you put your Dun & Bradstreet number. If not, leave it blank.
Okay.
Block 23 and 24 is what you're selling. So 23 would be the unit price times the number of units times the quantity of the number of units would be the unit price for each unit. You want to put a description if there is one, and there's usually an item number for each unit.
Okay.
So that's 23 and 24, and then 30 is where you sign and date, print, sign, and date. That's it. Only other thing you do on a standard form is look down underneath the schedule and look to see if there's an acknowledgement of amendments. If there's amendments, which they'll show you in FBO, you need to find an acknowledgement of amendments and acknowledge that you saw those amendments. Otherwise, you could lose the contract for not acknowledging the amendments. All right?
Wow. Okay. All righty.
Any other questions?
Do you have any sources that you could send that have like maybe templates that I could use to create my capability statement?
To build a CAB statement, best thing to do is go to Google and search capability statement. Go to images. There's hundreds of thousands of sample CAB statements online. You don't want to copy one verbatim because that could be a copyright infringement, but you can use them to, try and figure out how you want yours laid out, how you want it looked, what colors, etc. Main thing is keep it simple. The simpler, the better. You don't want something with a lot of color. This CAB statement is a nightmare because for someone to print this, you're going to burn up their print cartridge. You're going to eat up all their orange and black ink.
Okay, so not too much color.
Yeah. I mean, because I know that doesn't sound like a big deal, but let's say a purchasing agent's having to decide between you and the next guy, and he knows he's running out of ink on his printer, and he's got to word this thing by 5 o'clock today. He's probably not going to go with these guys because he can't even print their CAB statement out. He's going to run out of ink.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's too much color. Keep it
exactly what you mean. I've been I saw one today that I liked for my case manager. She sent me an example, and I was basing it off of that. So I wasn't sure if there was any pre-made templates that I could download or use. Just checking.
Not really. I mean, I like let's see here.
Also, now my case manager, I was watching your videos on YouTube yesterday, and one thing I talked to my case manager today about was signing up for A2A, and they informed me of the lengthy process, and I informed them that regardless, I still want to do it, but the company that I was using was charging more than what I wish to spend, and they said doing it myself would initially cost will not cost more, but take more time. Is there any other services that I could use to get my 8A process that don't cost me thousands of dollars?
The 8A is a long, tedious process, so I don't know if anybody out there does it for less than a couple of thousand. If so, I'd be worried because it's literally so many hours of work. That's why they're not cheap. There's physically so many hours of labor involved in processing them. I mean, I can go through that with you after the training call if you like, and we can see what I can do for you. How long?
Okay, great.
How long has the business?
That'd be nice.
How long has the business been in existence?
The business has been in existence for going on 4 years in December.
Okay. And did you guys do more than $250,000 in revenues last year?
No.
Is the primary owner? Are you the primary owner?
Yes.
Okay. What did you guys do last year, roughly?
Last year we did about 200,000 in revenue.
Okay. And how many clients was that with? Is that a handful or a nice group of clients or just one client?
It's a nice group of clients. We work with about 60 restaurants in town.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, good, 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 good. You got to have a balanced
That'd be
portfolio of clients.
60 different.
And you're definitely within the 250,000 gross adjusted
Sorry?
income because you didn't make more than 250. There's no way you paid yourself more than 250, so that's good. Yeah, if you want, I can get with you after the training and we can go through it together. No problem.
That'll be perfect. I think we can do that.
You got it. You got it. So just hang on if you like, and then as soon as the training's over, you and I can talk. No problem.
All right, cool, cool.
You have any other questions? Or anybody else have any questions? Bid, proposal, solicitation to work on?
John, Daniel here. Quick
Yes.
question on the discounts.
Yes.
Is the 15 days or whatever for the discount, is that from the time you invoice or from the time the item actually gets delivered to the agency?
That's from the invoice. So you're giving them a net 5 minus 1%. That means you're going to invoice them, and if they pay that invoice within 5 days, you will give them a 1% discount.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep, yep. So it's not delivery. It's based on invoicing. Because you could have delivered it, and they made you wait 30 days before you could invoice them. That doesn't
Right.
count. But as soon as you invoice them, they have 5 days to pay you to get that discount.
Okay.
So this is common.
All right. Do they usually pay before item gets delivered, or do most of them wait for the item to be delivered before they pay you?
Rare. I shouldn't say never because they do simplified acquisitions like that all the time, but they rarely prepay unless it's a simplified acquisition.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? Anybody else have any questions? Bid, solicitation, proposal to work on?
Still working my way up to that process.
That's all good. Takes time. Rome wasn't built in a day. I was just telling my my assistant, if you ever want to get one of your coworkers, put a cookie in your coffee and stir it up so it's got chunks floating in it, and then walk over and ask them if they think the creamer is bad, and then take a sip.
Now, I do have a question in regards to like crossing over to different industries. Naturally, when I created my SAM and did everything, I fell under like the transportation industry, transportation field.
Right.
Now, let's say I wanted to get into medical or just something completely different than what I did. Now, watching your videos, I see, and I have experience with contracting. Now, I know I could like sub it out, but how does that process and initially work, or is that a question I should ask now?
You can ask that question now. It depends on the industry, okay? There's certain things that you can sell no matter what, the requirements are, like subsistence, bread and rice and water and stuff like that, commodities. Excuse me. There's certain things you can't sell without additional licensing, like firearms or ammo. There's certain medical devices that, in addition to requiring you to be set up for simplified acquisitions, they also require you to have what's called a DAPA, distribution and pricing agreement with the VA. So there's some things that you're not going to be able to broker easily because there's additional requirements. And then there's some things that anyone can broker, One of the things a lot of federal contractors don't realize is that if you're going to do a contract for the state of California and you live in California and you're licensed in California, then you can do a contract for the state of California because you're a California business. But if you want to do a contract for the state of Nevada, more than likely you're going to have to go to Nevada and get licensed in Nevada. The feds are different. Most contracts with the feds you can do in any state. So you're not, you're not locked into just one state or just one product.
Okay.
Let me pause this for a second and I'll show you.
Is it on your page 28?
Starts at page 25. So that's price factor submission instructions.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where they're asking for the standard form 1449.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the evaluation, they're running the price off the base period.
Mm-hmm.
This is when people say, well, if I had the lowest price, I should have won. No, if it's unrealistically low, they can throw it out.
Right. I saw that.
Unbalanced pricing. I can tell you from my experience, most purchasing officers, when they receive an opportunity, the first thing they look at,
Mm-hmm.
they run the math,
Mm-hmm.
see if your math adds up.
Okay.
If they only have to receive
Okay.
3 offers to award it and they receive 5, they're looking for reason to throw 2 of those out right off the bat.
Right.
Doesn't matter. You could have the best price. You could be the best person for the job, have the best solution, everything. If your ducks aren't in a row, you're giving them an excuse to throw your stuff out. And the first thing they check is price. If your pricing doesn't add up, they can throw it out. I had a client lose a contract, a $100 million contract for less than $1. They had a mathematical mistake. It was less than $1, and they lost a $100 million contract because of it. They'll also look for, format to make sure that you submitted the bid properly and you included all the documents. So if they got 7 offers and they only need to receive 3 to award it, they're looking for a reason to throw out 4 of those. So they're going to run the math. They're going to check your documents, make sure you included everything, make sure there's no mistakes. So you don't even want, grammatical errors. You want every I dotted and every T crossed. And then they're going to check, make sure you included all the documentation. Maybe you forgot a document or something like that. They'll just throw it out. They won't even, but if they got 5 offers and 4 of them are right around the right price, or they're right around the same price, and one of them's half that, even if that guy who was doing it for half price was actually the guy that had the right price, and the other 4 guys were just overcharging, they're going to throw out the guy with the unrealistically low price. Because it doesn't, mean median mode. It doesn't make sense for everybody to be right around the same price, but that one got to be half.
Right.
I've seen bids thrown out because they were handwritten.
Wow.
You would think that makes sense not to turn them in handwritten, but people do it all the time.
I guess that makes them feel as if though they put forth an effort if they wrote it all.
Yeah, or it's it's just an excuse for them to throw one out. So they get 5 bids and they only need 3. They're going to look for a reason to throw 2 of them out, and if it's handwritten, they can throw it out because of that. They could say they couldn't understand your handwriting. Done.
True.
They didn't even have to prove that. You could have the nicest handwriting in the world. I could say I don't understand it. You're done. So you don't want to give them any reason to say no. I tell people if you're going to hand it in handwritten, do it in pink crayon. That's about what it's worth.
Right.
Any other questions?
Not right at this second. Like I said, I just found it after we finished talking, so I'm going to go through it piece by piece. Because they have so much in here.
80% of it you don't have to read, though. All you need is the instructions to offer and the SOW, the statement of work, or the PWS, the performance work statement. That tells you what they want to buy and how they want you to submit it. And then most of this stuff from that's how they're going to evaluate it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the performance of the contract, insurance requirements, hours of operation, days off, stuff like that. That's what they want you to submit, your attachments with the documents. And then this is the performance work statement. So this tells you what it is that they want to buy from here down. So if you're going to sub this out to a janitorial company, and they're not registered, so they can't compete against you, you give them this part and say, read this and give me a quote. Make them read it. You're subbing it out. You don't need to read all this.
Okay. Right. Oh, wow.
So that's all stuff that your subcontractor can read.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like this is prevailing wage, so they do have wage determination on this.
Yes.
So this is the dollar amount per hour that your subcontractor is required to pay their guys.
Okay.
And once you, this list is huge, so this is half the document right here. And then once you get to that, it's all FAR regulations that you don't have to read anyway. So they seem way more complicated than they are.
Okay. Right. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Any other questions? Anybody else got a question? Bid, solicitation, proposal? Well, if there's no other questions, it's almost 5 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and end this training for today. I'll be back on here tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel. If you guys want to join, just let me know ahead of time. You got something you want to work on, send a link. If you guys want to go in halves on a pizza, I need to know if you like pineapple, because I don't want pineapple on my pizza.
No pineapple.
No other questions. I will talk to you guys tomorrow.
Thanks,
All
John.
right, John. Thanks.
Thank
Guys,
you.
All right, John.
You guys can thank me after you win your first contract, always.
Now for the individuals you were going to talk to after the meeting.
Yeah, just drop me an email. I'll get everybody in. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
All right, you got it.
Okay.